everyone.
Hey, everybody.
I'm Steve.
I'm Mark.
And this is SmokeySteveAndMarc.
Yes, it is.
Welcome back.
Yes, welcome back, I guess, for a lot of you.
Yeah.
Well, for this video anyway, right?
Yeah, weren't we just here?
We were.
Well, out with it.
Well, I'll tell you. Okay, so it's no secret. We're like, I don't know, running at light speed, we'll say. I don't know. There's a lot of moving parts going on in our lives right now, right? Mm-hmm. And so we put up your Storytime video yesterday.
And thank y'all who watched.
Yes. And in it was our very first spooky road trip, right?
Yes.
Well, there were some mistakes in it. And you know what? I'm so happy that someone had wrote in and said it, because I'll tell you what I was doing. You know, I have everything in my book here, right? I have everything that I do for the road trips are in here, right? They're all in here because I got to plan ahead. You know, I don't know. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like all the script and the pictures and all that. And originally the road trip was supposed to be a comparison of Roswell, New Mexico and Roswell, Georgia. Well,
instead,
I worked very late last night. We had a ton of stuff going on, and I was rushing to put it all together. And I thought, okay, well, you know, we're not really going to do the comparison because there was only really one spooky thing in Roswell, Georgia. But some of the footage and it got all mixed up. Mm-hmm. And I knew, too, like, I'm like, wait, this doesn't seem, no, that's right. I think it's right. By that time, I was so confused. And so anyway, the road trip yesterday was just packed full of incorrect facts.
I mean.
Well, not packed full, but like.
Overflowing with?
Yeah, well, the Chattahoochee River does not run through Roswell, New Mexico. It runs through Roswell, Georgia.
Yeah.
You know, and so there were some things there. So I had to put my tail between my legs and redo it. Which I did. Mm-hmm. You know I did. I was not going to let that go.
No.
Well, no. You know what? We always say, you know, in our videos and your coffee talks too, we always say, look, if my facts are a little off, please let me know. Mm-hmm. You know, did I miss something? Please let me know.
And this was a good catch.
And this was a very great catch. And I'm sorry, I'm going to embarrass you because thank you so much, Mr. McPhoebe. Oh, that was so great. I'm so glad you wrote that in there because I knew it. I knew something wasn't right with it.
Yeah.
And then, of course, after we posted it, well, life went on, you know.
Yeah, it's like,
bed, got up, went to work, you know, I didn't really look at it again, you know. So, so anyway, we have an all new spooky road trip for you today. Mm-hmm. And then we forgot something else.
What?
Oh, we had a contest.
We had a contest, and we were supposed to pick the winners in the next video.
Whoopsies.
And the next video was yesterday's video.
Which is just as well, because it's getting deleted anyway.
Yes, so we're going to do that right now. So we're going to fix that part out, too. Okay. Yes.
So tell me what it's for.
And and the other video is we're just getting rid of that.
Yeah, we're going to delete the video. If you're seeing this, the other video is gone.
Is gone.
And the thing that's missing is the segment Mark had done.
Yeah.
And this is like the cool, much better segment.
Yeah, this is the better one, the correct one, you know.
Things like
and
that.
I have all of your footage, so we didn't lose any of your story.
No, it wasn't his attempt to like covertly sabotage me.
No, we have that all. So that'll be coming up right after this too. So all right. So we had a contest in our premiere of Spooky Steve and Mark, and it was for our brand new spooky T-shirts.
They're very cool.
And we're going to give 2 of them away, and all you had to do was comment below the video. Mm-hmm. He has the randomizer up, and we're going to pick 2 winners right now, and you'll get a T-shirt and then a little SSAM gift pack with stickers and stuff. You know, it'd be pretty cool. So, is it ready?
It's ready.
Okay, I'll shut up. It's ready. All right, ready? First winner, drum roll.
Out of like 68 comments, I think. The first is Nicole Morales.
Nicole Morales! Woohoo! Congratulations to you. All right.
Laptop. It's a Mac. This takes a
while.
while.
It's my work.
It might as well be in Dutch.
I'm Mac, and I'm Mac at work, and he's the other one. I don't like Macs, but I've gotten used to this one a little bit.
I heard once you go Mac, you never go back, too. So.
I have to say no. I like your computer. I like our regular computer better than my work computer. I do.
All right. Guess again. Pick next winner. Okay. All right. And we have Tennessee Mima.
Tennessee Mima! Just to you. Oh my goodness. All right, well, you both just won a t-shirt and, lots of fun other stuff with that.
Mm-hmm.
So contact us or we'll contact you. We got to get your address to get the t-shirts out, and I will get them out. As soon as I get your address, I'll get them out so you have them in time for Halloween, okay? Mm-hmm. And we went, and I will go ahead and post on Facebook. I forgot to do this as well. The links, we have a lot of people asking to buy them, and I didn't put the link on Facebook. So I'll put the links over on Facebook tomorrow, okay? So you can, if you want to buy them, you can buy them straight through StickerMule. They ship them to you, and they're only $19. So it's a really good deal.
The links to that are below.
Oh, yeah, you put them in the description?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, good.
Go ahead in the description.
Okay, so. Good. All right. Well, I'm so glad that we were able to take care of those things that we missed, and I will do my darndest not to do it again. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
So, I hear you're gonna tell us a little story.
I am. I'm gonna talk about aliens. Aliens.
Yeah, they're pretty spooky.
I'm scared.
All right.
Here we go. Hello, everyone. I'm Steve. Mark's around, and this is SmokeySteveAndMarc. Either welcome or welcome back, and happy Thursday. Getting to the end of the week. It's been another long week. It's been a very active one. Putting up backgrounds. Been doing that. Work's been work. The same old, same old. So, tonight we thought we'd do a little story time. And we're going to dig back into Steven's childhood for some scary stories. Not about me, but some huge fears I used to have. So I loved the show. I don't know if anybody's seen the TV show or seen it on Netflix or whatever. Unsolved Mysteries. And the show had Robert Stack, whose voice scared the hell out of me, narrating, at least the original ones. Then it was Dennis Farina, and then he passed away and it's been somebody else now. So it was on, I think it was Sunday nights at 10 after the Golden Girls and whatever else was on. And it was very creepy. The music, that, like whenever the thing is going to be out, it comes up. Okay. So everything on the show, and I'm a masochist, so I'd scare the crap out of myself and then try to go to sleep. Everything on that show kind of freaked me out a little bit. Now, they would do stuff that was just missing persons or, most wanted, and those freaked me out a little bit too. But beyond that, specifically the scariest thing that I recall from watching them is the aliens. The UFO stuff, people who were abducted, different kind of scenarios like that. Now, I was a fat and lonely child. So I stayed home pretty much and watched TV. That was my best friend. I didn't get a friend until I was 12, maybe. So I spent a lot of time. TV was my babysitter, and my parents both worked full-time by the time I was in school. So I was kind of a latchkey kid anyway. And I'd catch reruns on Lifetime of Unsolved Mysteries as well. So ghosts, I'm not even sure I believe in. So that doesn't really scare me. They're spooky. The scariest ghost one I recall was a woman who was having a past life regression of a gentleman who was murdered in his driveway, lured out of his house by someone who set his truck on fire. The guy died and then now haunts the house. Scary, but I never got the impression there was anything supernatural really going around my parents' house or anything like that. So ghosts, Okay, so cryptids, let's say Bigfoot, Loch Ness Monster, like any of the ones, there's so many out there now. I didn't even know what the word meant. Now it's applied to everything. Didn't really scare me. I'm not worried about the Wolf Man. Not worried. Not worried about vampires, exactly. People who think they're vampires could be freaky and dangerous, but, in the general sense, no, I'm not afraid of Count Dracula or anything like that. Past life stuff and hypnosis I always thought was interesting. These are all among the supernatural sort of topics they had on the show. And they had aliens. And I'll tell you the one that freaked me out. Okay. So there's 4 men. And they're in the Allagash wilderness. They're in New England. And 4 guys, and they go out for a camping trip. So they pack all their stuff and they're out in the woods for a few days, and they're going to spend 3-4 days traveling through, fishing and doing whatnot in that area. So the first or second night, these guys saw some lights in the sky that seemed peculiar. They kind of just watched them. You know, it's big sky country. When you're that far into the sticks, you can see all the stars. But apparently they were seeing some lights following them. So on, I think their third night, they said they built a huge bonfire on the beach because they were going to do night fishing. So they build this giant fire and it's on the shore, and they get out into the water and they notice the light again, circling in the air. And one was coming sort of near them. So one of the gentlemen grabbed a flashlight and shot off an SOS. And the response was immediate. And so these guys, 4 of them, who are in like a canoe, are trying to row back to shore before a UFO from another, light year caught them. From the show, the way he explained it is the spotlight came up on them on the water. They're here. And then the next thing all the men knew, they were standing on the shore watching this series of lights that would be a ship, apparently, the way they were lit together. And they looked at it like they were posing for a picture, and it took off. And the gentleman said it was interesting because they did not talk about it. You think it was a big deal. Everybody just seemed tired. And the fire burned down. They thought they were only on the lake for about 20 minutes. The fire should have burned about 8 hours, probably. And it was almost extinguished. So the suggestion of that is that they set a big fire, then they disappeared, it comes back, where's their missing time, where the fire burned down. And the suggestion was that they were abducted by aliens, and they had experiments done upon them. So as this follows up, these guys kind of don't talk about it, the 4 of them. And, they continue with the rest of their camping trip, and they go on with their married lives. Then the nightmares started. A couple of the guys started recalling that event and dreams, nightmares of being in a cold place. Some described like a veterinary office, a cold table, an exam room type setting, and the aliens. Okay. The aliens they used in TV, and the common belief of how at least some aliens look, is the idea of the gray. A gray being a slight creature with a giant head, almost no mouth, and huge black eyes. You've probably seen that kind of sketch somewhere. That was what these gentlemen, one by one, started to describe that they remembered from that day. It's not something they had shared with each other until much later, and then it became one of those oh my god moments. We all remember the same thing. I remember being, and this is what happened allegedly, breamed up onto a ship. They were all taking their clothes off. 3 of them are sitting there watching the aliens do a medical exam on one of their friends, and they're taking bodily fluids and things, and it, between the lines of what they said, it sounded like that they were like sexually assaulted by aliens. It's pretty much the way they laid it out. For some reason, whenever anyone's abducted by an alien, they need a prostate exam or a semen sample. So the guys go up there, and then during some I said memories and dreams were coming back. Well, then they were taken through hypnosis. There was another third party that was interested in their story, and the fact that all their stories lined up before they told each other. They were, I can stop at one point and then you can pick up at the next. And the gentlemen all had the same recollection, described the same creatures. Very freaky, because anything that looks like proof of that freaks me out. Ghosts are supernatural, but the aliens could be anywhere. They could be here. They could be you. All right, let's just see what Mark's up to at the moment. I think he has something else going on. I'm going to try to cool my jets and then think if I have any other thoughts to kind of wrap up about abduction. Okay, so Mark!
Hey guys, hey, we had so much fun on our summer road trip that we knew we had to follow it up with a spooky road trip. Think Creepy Town, USA, haunted attractions, and deranged destinations. And it all begins right now.
For the first stop on our spooky road trip, we're heading to the deserts of New Mexico. This is Roswell.
Ooh, Roswell! Oh, yes! Roswell is a city in and the seat of Shaves County in New Mexico. Now, Roswell is the 5th largest city in the state, and it was catapulted into mainstream media over the Roswell incident. Ooh, but we'll talk a little more about that later. Now, I had the opportunity to visit Roswell, several years ago, and let me tell you, it is a beautiful city with beautiful people and just packed full of history and mystery, and it all began in 1869.
Van C. Smith, a businessman from Omaha, Nebraska, constructed 2 adobe buildings that began what is now Roswell. These buildings served as the settlement's general store and post office. And in 1871, he filed a claim with the federal government for the land surrounding the buildings and actually became the town's first postmaster. Smith was the son of Roswell Smith from Lafayette, Indiana. He named the town Roswell after his father's first name.
Roswell is probably most famously known for a certain unidentified crash landing in 1947, or the Roswell incident.
One early July morning in 1947, a rancher named Mac Brazel found something unusual in his pasture, a massive metallic debris which he was unable to identify. He called the Roswell sheriff. The sheriff in turn called officials at the nearby Roswell Army Air Force Base. Soldiers fanned out, whisking it all away in armored trucks. On July 8th, the incident was the top story in the Roswell Daily Record. But was it true? Air Force officials clarified the paper's report. The alleged flying saucer was only a crashed weather balloon.
However, to those people who saw the debris or the photographs of it in the local newspapers, it was clear this was no weather balloon at all. Some people believe and still believe today that this object was extraterrestrial in nature.
Roswell is a popular tourist destination and hotspot for UFO enthusiasts and anyone interested in learning more about these mysterious events and their history. Some of the attractions in the town include the Museum and Art Center, the International Air Center, and the International UFO Museum and Research Center, which features more than 50,000 documents, audio tapes, pictures, books, autopsy reports, and more. Heck, even the local McDonald's looks like a flying saucer. But dig a little deeper and you'll find a fun and relaxed destination with a diverse selection of local festivals and eateries, a variety of nearby wildlife areas, and a thriving local art community. Oh, yeah, and exquisite shopping, too. The downtown district is 38 city blocks filled with shops, restaurants, art galleries, and more. Stop by the Historical Center, a prairie-style home filled with antiques from past decades. About 14 miles southeast of Roswell, the Bottomless Lakes are the featured attraction in the state park of the same name. These 9 bodies of water aren't lakes, but sinkholes ranging in depths from 17 to 90 feet. Now, according to local lore, visitors have tossed items in the sinkholes only to find them 97 miles away in Carlsbad Caverns.
Sure, there's more to Roswell than just aliens, right? But you can't and you shouldn't ignore the city's sci-fi attractions and events, just like Galacticon, a yearly convention that celebrates all things aliens. From steampunk balls to art booths and eateries, it surely is one of the most attended events in Roswell. And while you're there, You can't miss the Roswell Film Festival, which celebrates international sci-fi films of all types.
No matter where you go in Roswell, you'll see aliens for sure. And for those of us who are more serious or curious about the local alien connection, consider the famous 2-hour tour of the 20 sites with links to the 1947 Roswell incident. There you'll see Hangar 54, where believers say the government stored aliens after the flying saucer crashed. Well, whether you buy into the city's alien connection or not, Roswell is definitely a place worth a visit.
So, cover-ups, conspiracies, the truth is out there. Is the truth out there? Area 51, Roswell, Greys, abductions. All of it freaked me out. And now that I'm older, it's strange. I'm, trying to make sense of things that I never cared to make sense of, like aliens, ghosts, life, death, things outside ourselves. It's a little narrow, I think, to think that we're the only life in the universe. For how vast it is, that it's just us. I think it's naive. However, I'm certainly not privy to any information that suggests otherwise. The only thing that kind of freaks me out, I'm seeing lights out the window. I swear it's a gray. The idea of the Men in Black, if anyone's familiar. Now, the Men in Black are allegedly, they're thought to be agents of the government who might even be part alien themselves. Okay. And they show up rather unannounced when a paranormal event of that type happens, when there's a crash landing of something, if somebody shares a video online, if they have exclusive footage of some lights in the sky. When it's a lot of people who've reported that said that very suddenly and very weirdly, sometimes at their work, a man or two, hence men, dressed in black with black hats on, sunglasses, asking questions, looking to see what's going on, what's around. That's freaky. That's very freaky to me. Credible people from, as credible as you could be on TV, talk about the reality of running into these guys and how sometimes the skin was kind of matte and smooth. Somebody tiptoed into that whole reptilian thing. Now, tossing around the idea that we're not the only life in the universe is different than thinking that every liberal is a dragon, snake, shapeshifter, because when the TV blurs, you can see something scary. That goes a little far for me. We're treading a little too close to, stupid. Not that my own fears and hangups about it weren't stupid, but, and I'm finding, I have to say, not to jump, having just turned 40, there's certain things, you put childish things away at a certain age. And, not going to be afraid of this or that or that. In the moment, I can be afraid of traffic. Now, that's me. That's my hang up. So the prospect that things out of my control, with thinking, breathing, living things from somewhere else would find their way into the house, put their hands all over me, and then leave, and then I would have nightmares. I think I would have nightmares forever. I had nightmares and nothing happened. All I did was listen to Robert Stack and his creepy-ass voice talk about people disappearing and having things put up their area. And it still leaves me with a weird taste in my mouth. The Men in Black, I tend to think a lot of people are like seeing what they want to see or not seeing things clearly, or they already have an idea in their head of what happened, or someone under hypnosis tells them something that might have happened, and all of a sudden it becomes a memory of theirs. A lot of the people I've seen who've claimed to have been abducted before seem credible. They have nothing to gain by it. They didn't sell their story for a book. Now, when you get to that Fire in the Sky one, the Travis Walton story, he was like, what was it? 5 hillbillies cutting trees down for work. It was their job. Drove out into a clearing following a light. Travis Walton got out, looks up at it, gets zapped by something and thrown to the ground. His friends, like friends do, fucking leave him right there in the middle of the field. He's then missing for a few days and comes back a few days later with a few days growth of beard, far from where he was missing. The lapse in time is kind of creepy. I don't like the idea that it could be 10 o'clock and I'd see a light out the window and go, oh, what's that? And then find out 3 hours later I'm standing in the same spot and waving goodbye to them. You know, I get anxious driving. I can't imagine being sucked into a UFO, into a flying saucer, whatever it would be. So those are my bigger fears. Actually, when I was growing up, it was one of the biggest fears I had. The truth's out there. Probably. So thank you for indulging me. Thank you for listening to a trip through my fearful, unsafe, unfeeling childhood and all the things that help contribute to that, especially on the supernatural level. I like to kind of put distance between myself and some stuff like that anyway. It's easier to say I don't believe in it if I don't want to consider evidence that's compelling. Am I lying to myself with that? Probably a little bit. But there's only so many hours in the day, and I can't deal with The Shining. If the walls start bleeding, we'll make a short. So thank you for watching. Please do subscribe, hit the notification bell. You'll get alerts when we have new videos and when we go live. You can follow us on Facebook or Instagram. Our email address and contact information will be listed below in the description. Thanks again, Mark, for taking us on a little road trip, spooky drive. And we will catch up with y'all soon. All right, so stay spooky, look after yourselves, and we'll catch up with you. Let's see, probably by the weekend. Okay? Take good. Bye.